Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be talking about how the rise of Skywalker ruined the Force. You know, the Force, the thing that was central to George Lucas's amazing work from episodes 1 to 6. I'm going to highlight 4 main areas where the rise of Skywalker set the concept of the Force in a direction very disconnected to what it ever once was in the prequels. My friend and I, who you may have seen in the last video, sat down together and brainstormed some of the main areas we believe Disney did a lot of detriment to the Force. I know there are more important things in this world that we could be discussing, like COVID-19, etc. This matters because those who forget history are condemned to repeat it. And if we don't document how Disney ruined the Force into the archives, then we may essentially in the future have incomplete archives, and Disney will continue to make the same mistakes in an unaccountable manner. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
Do it! Make the sacrifice!
So what's going on here completely opens up a can of worms. The Force is being treated here as if it is some kind of magic. And quite frankly, this kind of concept belongs in Harry Potter, not Star Wars. Fundamentally, the Force was the ability to learn something that already existed in the galaxy, and depending on your desires, whether good or evil, you could eventually achieve certain powers.
He has special powers.
And some of these powers brought with them extraordinary abilities like Force Lightning, Force Speed, and Force Healing. And I mean, I guess since the Force is this thing that can be learned over time, if we introduce the ability to be able to teleport objects, then that is just simply too far. If I were to use the same logic in the rise of Skywalker, then I could use a lightsaber to teleport to Darth Sidious's bedside as he sleeps at night, and stab him without any prior warning or limitations. I could sit at home in my Coruscant apartment and essentially use the lightsaber as if it were a drone and kill anyone I wanted to. Why would Jedis and Sith ever have to go to work when they can just work from home and teleport their lightsabers to wherever they want? I could teleport a seismic charge to Geonosis to demolish the eyesore that is the Petronarchy Arena with the slightest of ease. This whole concept truly opens up a can of worms, because it alters any prior conceptions of the Force and the limitations that it has. I mean, the Force should have limitations, right? It shouldn't be this thing you can eventually harness so much power from that you become invincible. So we have some examples here that show Rey's abilities as quite extraordinary. I mean, seriously, who else can we compare it to throughout all of the Star Wars movies that exist? I mean, she learned to do that in 2 years? I find it hard to believe. If one were to consider and acknowledge the prequels, then that would lead one to believe that the Force takes years of training to harness such powers exhibited by Rey. I mean, I think it is incredibly unrealistic and unreasonable to believe that the greatest master of all time, Yoda, would have spent over 900 years training and acquiring such powers and abilities and still struggle with all his might to lift this metal vent system over Obi-Wan and Anakin here. But Rey can force pull a heavy ship countless times larger and move it about like she's some puppeteering master. Disney even go as far to make Rey accidentally zap it and blow it up without trying. There is some serious lack of continuity at play between the prequels and the sequels. On top of this, to add to the consistent unrealistic absurdity that Disney continues to create, is how Rey can beat Kylo Ren with no forced training, even though Kylo had been training from a very young age. He far exceeded Rey's time spent acquiring the Force's many facets. Kylo Ren had managed to kill dozens of Jedi by destroying a Jedi temple when he was younger, and I feel like one of the main things to be focused on in the sequels was the insane power that Kylo Ren did have, but instead it all got thrown away by a grumpy girl with unrealistic Force abilities that completely re-alter our prior conceptions of the Force being something you acquire over a significant period of time. You control the Force doesn't control you. I mean, in these Disney films, did the Force become more powerful? Does the Force have the single autonomous ability to become more powerful? Rey only had 2 years of training to destroy the greatest, most elusive Sith of all time, but arguably, the greatest Jedi had to flee for his safety in Episode 3. There are some massive discrepancies here, and I just want to know why Disney had to make Rey so powerful. But no, don't underestimate Rey's power. She will come and teleport a lightsaber to you as you enjoy a nice peaceful picnic in the park. Where Rey lurks, no matter how powerful you are not safe. On the back of Rey's already ridiculous powers and the way the Force is so nonchalantly manipulated in these new films is the end battle between Rey and Palpatine, where she allegedly conjures up all the old dead Jedi to use their powers to defeat him. In all the past films apart from the recent Disney content, the dead Force users are merely ghosts, with a very small and infrequent ability to be able to communicate through the mind.
Use the Force, Luke.
Nothing more. Allegedly, in the Rise of Skywalker, all of the dead Jedi's power and Force ability was to be channeled through this granddaughter of a Sith to take down her very grandfather that was supposed to be dead. But that is the issue. The idea that Rey was conjuring and using every other Force user as a ridiculous and almost offensive nod to the previous Jedi to come before, saying that they alone couldn't do what this young scavenger girl with little to no training could accomplish.
Bring back the balance, Rey, as I did.
In the night, find the light ray.
Never have you been. Every Jedi who ever lived lives in you. Feel the Force flowing through you, Rey.
Let it lift you.
Rise,
Rey was able to conjure the power of all the dead Jedi beforehand, but all the Jedi in the Council weren't able to use a quarter of that power to fight back against Executive Order 66. Couldn't they have drawn on the power of all the past Jedi who had gone before and done the same as Rey, thus thwarting the Sith's goal to rule the galaxy once more, talking to every other Jedi through their minds as they are apparently able to do? So many ill-thought-out inconsistencies thanks to Disney's lack of consideration of the prequels. So the Emperor, the main antagonist of the entire 6 original films, and the entire reason to the grand conclusion, was found alive. So firstly, this just ruins the entire payoff of Anakin's legacy, Luke's legacy, and pretty much the entire original 6 films made by George Lucas. Apparently, according to theory and lore, he managed to survive by transferring his consciousness while falling to his doom into a nearby clone. Let's bear in mind that he did not predict Darth Vader's portrayal, which led to his death, which showcases that he had a very small amount of time to actually carry out such an act of transferal. Some fantastic improvisation, Sidious. Well done. I'd almost believe such a thing if it weren't so stupid. If Darth Sidious could carry out such an act in Episode 6, which, let's be honest, George Lucas had no intention of or any foresight, because he never predicted the Force taking such a radical turn thanks to Disney, then what's to say he didn't/couldn't do the same in Episode 9, when he was killed by Rey? Maybe there was another clone waiting for his consciousness somewhere else for him to inhabit. And if he died again, what's to say he doesn't have another, and another? If you can truly buy into the fact that the Emperor was able to create a backup clone, to quickly transport his conscious, like sending some kind of text message, all while falling to his death in an electrical chute, getting zapped continuously, then has any Force-sensitive being truly ever died in Star Wars? Darth Plagueis, Count Dooku, stop ruining payoffs, Disney.
I'm all the Jedi.
In essence, any major character, Jedi or Sith, could still be alive, chilling by some beautiful Naboo Lake, sipping Jawa juice from one of their 468 clones they have on standby for when death beckons. This Force ability that has come about as a result of Darth Sidious's reappearance in The Rise of Skywalker makes it impossible to die. So there really isn't ever any point in fighting between the Sith and Jedi, cause you're always going to end up finding out that they're alive, having the time of their lives on some other planet, waiting for you to come and kill them again, so they can go inhabit one of their other clones that is getting stale and going past its use-by date because it's waiting so long. These are just some of the ways Disney managed to ruin the Force and open up a Pandora's box of absolute endless ridiculousness. There is no continuity between the limits of the Force between the original 6 Star Wars films and the works created by Disney. So yeah, be careful everyone. Watch out tonight for any teleporting lightsabers. Know that you now don't need any extensive training to become the most powerful Jedi ever. Know that when falling down in an electric chute whilst falling to your death, know that you can now transfer your consciousness to any clone you so choose that is on standby. Thanks for watching the video today, guys. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and we shall see you all in the next video.